Okay, so this is about the lesson for Standard 4 that was about the needs and wants and asking questions to find out more information about other kids' lives.
Yes.
So, what did you think about this one?
Well, in general, I feel that this lesson had a good use of academic language. It was evident when you gave the students the opportunity to review the concepts of needs and wants, So before they asked the questions, they had that idea in their minds, right? And I think that was good to review that language. They also had the chance to verbalize and write questions that related to the topic, needs and wants, right? So the learning objective was to write questions, yes, to find information. And I think that they had a very good opportunity to practice in pairs, and then to tell you what type of questions they wrote. Another thing that I could see is that
Maybe an interactive game?
yes, I was thinking that as the learning objective was to write questions, maybe we could give them like some opportunity to work in an interactive game, to build up a question. Maybe like those jumble sentences. No?
Yeah, that
To
would
put
be good
something-
because they struggle a lot with the correct order of the
Yes.
of the questions. They
Yes,
always put
yes.
why you do or instead of why do you.
Yes, yes. But you know what? But then at the end, I saw their work, and it wasn't that bad.
No,
I
it
mean,
was great. It was a lot better than I
yes.
expected actually because I remember last year our kids really struggled with the question sentences and most of them actually did really good. So I thought that was good.
Another good thing that I saw is that now you are addressing misconceptions, because at the beginning when you started, teaching them, your first lessons, you just passed those.
Passed it instead of
Yes.
taking opportunity to make a learning opportunity.
That's
out
right.
Of it.
Yes, and now I can see that you're aware of those moments, and you take those misconceptions and write them on the board. No, there's no need to call any name.
Yeah,
to say
that's what I
any-
try because especially with our students, there's so many ones that are so sensitive,
Yes,
So you don't want to make them feel like they're on the spot in front of all of their friends.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, but you are using, what they are producing to, help them learn better. So I think that is a good improvement, I would say.
Okay, thank you.
Another thing that I could see is that the materials we use were at their level. Even though there were like deep readings, deep texts, it was a good idea to choose one leader in
Yes,
each group.
I think that worked great. I think that worked great.
To have that person reading the whole thing for the others, helped a lot. And also it was good for them to have the card, because some groups had to go back to the reading, and reread
Have
the
something
text.
to refer back to.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think that was a good use of the resources. Another thing that I could see is that you review the previous knowledge at the beginning of the lesson, talking about needs and wants, and
Yes.
also the how to write questions
About
So both things, right? Because the lesson was about these two things: to ask
about the needs and the
questions,
wants, but also how to form a proper question.
right.
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
And actually, I think that in general it was a good lesson. I know that you feel that it was not a good lesson,
I hate it.
but let me tell you something. I could see that the activities, all of them were aligned to the learning objective. So you didn't do anything different from what was supposed to be done with them. Another thing was that there was a link between this skill, which is writing questions, right, and our unit of inquiry.
Finding out, they were
Yeah.
using that to further their knowledge about the content. Yeah.
So, yeah, for me it was a good lesson. Of course, there are always things that we need to improve, And in my comments, I wrote some things like to continue reinforcing positive behavior.
That's what also my instructor suggested to me, that's something that I need to remember instead of only pointing out the ones who are doing something bad. Maybe
Yes.
saying like, "Oh, look at this student. They're sitting so nicely, so quietly."
That's right. And sometimes, I mean, there are many strategies that maybe with these kids, you don't need to say someone's name. Just you can go next to this person, put
And
your hand on
quietly.
your shoulder. You know, in silence. There's no need
Nonverbal.
to. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. That's right. And yeah, I would say that. Oh, that's another strategy that maybe you can remain in silence for some seconds. You know. And when they realize that your voice is not there anymore,
They'll
you
be
know
okay.
that something wrong. There's something wrong in here,
Yeah.
right? So, I mean, they tend to
Okay.
be in silence and then listen to you again, right?
Okay. Perfect.
So yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I think it was. I liked the lesson itself. I just feel like I didn't do that well. I don't know why. I feel like I'm just really hard on myself, but it's just so hard. It's so different what you think in your head and then what actually happens. So, and a lot of the times too, I feel like I need to work on what my instructor said is only asking one question instead of asking multiple questions at a time and then expecting a response back. Just making it a more clear, direct one question so that they don't get lost with, because a lot of them they can understand you perfectly, but a lot of them have very low English still, so it's hard for them to know what I'm actually asking.
yeah.
So that's what I need to work on too, is forming my questions in a way that is more understandable to everybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah? Okay.